What's up, cyberpunks and retro nerds? Welcome back to another edition of Neon Trash. You've got Tommy the Hammer hanging out with Johnny Rocket and the Haze Days. Speaking of Haze Days, it is his day to do the movie pick. What have you got, Matthew?
Well, I got an early 2000s, I want to say romantic comedy, but it's not really romantic, it's all about comedy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's called Leatherheads, starring George Clooney and John Krasinski. Great, fun time about early football, classic, watch it with your family type of movie.
Perfect choice for the month of November. You guys know this routine. Check out that trailer. Peep that shit. We'll be right back, Leatherheads.
You like playing football?
I love playing football.
Dodge Conley just got a new teammate.
A couple of plays we ran at Princeton.
A lot of our plays are pretty strong.
These are a lot like your plays, only a little more effective.
Now,
What's he got that I haven't got?
Money, power, influence,
Besides that.
intellect.
if you want to win, you need to play dirty.
Where were you two?
Out.
Nowhere.
Leatherheads.
You get the first punch.
Me and J-Rock here. Virgins, the old Leatherheads, is directed by, of course, George Clooney. This is a likable enough movie with likable enough leads, and there's definitely some funny scenes in it, you know, for sure. I do appreciate the whole period piece element to the movie. The sets look good, the costumes look good, the music, I feel like, was the star of the show. It stole the entire movie, in my opinion, because if you didn't have all the excellent music going on around these characters, then it wouldn't have sold the overall vibe of the movie. I mean, it really sells this era. There's a couple of moments to the overall film where I felt like the narrative and maybe the overall story felt slightly distracted. Here you've got one side of the movie where it's really trying to tell the history of football. Then you've got this kind of romantic comedy element to the movie, and that's all well and good. But then you've got George Clooney, who's obviously hot off the heels of the Coen brothers, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And he's definitely trying to convey maybe that zest, you know, once again into his own vision. And that's fine. But here, I don't feel like it works entirely as good as a Coen brothers film.
This is a really super neat little snapshot back, 100 years ago when, they were first trying to make pro football a thing. I mean, back then you pretty much had baseball, you had boxing, and that was pretty much like it for like American sports, for the most part. Like that was what people liked back then, Yeah, football was still kind of a college game. It was a game. Yeah, it was a game. It wasn't anything serious. So these guys that were like really trying to start a pro circuit, they faced a lot of hurdles. Like you see in the beginning, like these teams they get no money, they're not drawing a crowd, they go broke, they fold. The other teams are like, oh snap, we got to find somebody else to play, and the dominoes tumbled on the line. So it was neat to see that. And if I have like one main critique to this, it's the fact that we really didn't follow that so much.
This movie was great to me because of the fact that he did delve into the history of pro football. It was loosely based on the fact of Red Grange joining pro football. He was like the all-star, all-American athlete in college, and he would bring thousands upon thousands of fans to college ball. And then when he decided to also, you know what, I'm actually going to try pro football. And he started bringing all those fans to pro football, and that's what took off the NFL. That's how it all started.
A history lesson for y'all.
Yeah, and so then with George Clooney, what he wanted to do was not only explain that, but actually, get the couples to come watch it. So the girl has some aspect of it with Renee Zellweger and the little rom-com stuff going on, the zingers, everything like that, and also the fact that back then too they didn't have the media involvement as they do now. And so they didn't want to really dispel or get rid of the modern football fans. So they actually added that in this movie, the whole media, commissioner, the new rules, all that. I mean, yeah, all that was going on, but that happened later.
maybe this feels a little too calculated. Almost like Clooney himself had this grand idea, and maybe even the writers were like, hey, we want to tell the history of football, but then the studio was like, let's overbloat it a little bit, because it's a fucking studio thing.
I see that happening very easily. This could have been monkeyed with, by the studio.
Considering all that, and I do, I'm going to give it straight up a 7. 7? Give it a 7.
All right. Dang, I'm going to do a little bit better than that. I thought this was pretty darn good. All things considered, I'm going to give this a solid 8.
Ooh.
I thought this was pretty gosh darn good. Like I said, a lot of laughs and just a lot to appreciate about this as far as the cinematography goes and the production and everything. And despite its shortcomings, I think it's still a pretty good flick. You know, I'm fairly impressed by Clooney here with this one. Solid 8.
All right. Well, for my pick, I'm going to do a little bit better than J-Rock over here. I'm going to give it 8.5 stars.
Ooh.
Almost a 9. It's getting up there, but, you know, I mean, they're right. There are some times you're like, oh, I could have done a little better. They did drag a little bit in some spots. But other than that, all around great movie for under 2, for running time under 2 hours.
It was a
Why
breezy
not?
experience.
Yeah, so it's nice, it's pleasant. You know, why not watch it with the family, especially if you're into football.
We're all getting together. We're all celebrating holidays, and I feel like, you know, this movie ain't perfect, but it is a good film that you would want to watch during the holiday season. I mean, everyone loves football.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It is. It's definitely kosher enough to play it with the kids around.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
it's
Innocent enough, fun enough, and you know, the kids would like it, the adults would like it, and there you guys have it. I mean, you know, if you're looking for a sports movie that kind of exceeds past some of the more kind of like cheesy elements of modern day films, then this one is a period piece with a little bit more on its mind than typical modern movies. So I hope it's been informative.